Space Imperies Part 10. The love of Amanda Cabron altered. Anything resembling places, facts, and people is just a coincidence. Merit casuality. Realistic anticipation. Original fiction. Year 1967, 1967. After the rebellions in the mining colonies of Mars, the asteroids, and the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, and after a cruel and rapid war of independence against the autocracies and the corporate holdings of the Earth, the veterans of Mars confirm that from laboratories of the neuroimplant company Neurotech is emitted a neurological writing Trojan virus that subordinates the will to the interests of its operators. The veterans of the rebellion try to infiltrate the laboratories of Neurotech by diving through time to approach the Earth without being detected and emerge in 2374 in an undetectable way. The launchers separated from the Aquila and began their descent toward Earth. The journey was tense. Each second counted as they approached the Earth's atmosphere. The inlet by the poles was already calculated and set automatically. What was not established was that missile that was going to hit a military satellite, and the parts that rushed into the atmosphere accompanied them as the automatic navigation systems corrected the course to avoid collisions, that diverted them several degrees south and went to give near the surface of the Atlantic Ocean over the coasts of North America near New Scotland. "What location do we have?" Sean asked Mental. "On the coast of North America, area of New Scotland," replied the humanoid robot IA. "That place was already populated," said Alex with some tension in his voice. "We have to get away from here." I felt a little worried until Mental said, "It's okay, we're mimetized. The systems work perfectly, avoiding detections, and the spectators who are looking in our direction will only see the incandescent remains of the satellite that accompanies us. We're just gonna have to grind with a little bit of strap and then move under the surface to get away, and make the next time jump." The teams of the two launchers are preparing for the next step of the mission, the second leap. Mental programmed the time displacement phase sequences as we approached the North Pole and left behind us an unidentifiable footprint of light. We emerged in the year 2374, on the right date and with a margin of hours in favor, correctly and very close to the surface of the Arctic Sea. We should not use communication systems and we could only make direct visual contact with the other launchers. The other launcher couldn't be seen. We all checked windows and screens. The scanners didn't record the configuration of the other launcher, they were lost. Mextex, Rafaela, Seraphin, and Lysandra, we had no idea where or when they might be. We know that a variation of subparticles alters a quantum field, but whatever its destination they can always reverse the navigation equation and return to the starting point, and if there is an emergency, the backup system automatically activates in terms of nanoseconds and will be returning safe at the start point. As Mental gave that explanation, then I knew that he was reprogramming the digital identifiers of the launcher to pass as a rental vehicle on behalf of the Voss holding part of an autocracy that no one would bother to review. After crossing Bering we headed towards the coast city. A lot of feelings were revived inside us, but no one said anything. As we moved forward, I couldn't help thinking about Alex. His presence gave me strength, but I also worried about him. I knew that no matter what we were facing, we would be together. The disappearance of the other Lancer weighed on our hearts, but we trusted that Menthol was right and that our companions would return safely. We were preparing to infiltrate the city without being detected. The mission was clear. The first step is to visit the Zephyr Tiguri physically and without communications that can be monitored. So, we use communications until it's essential or for some emergency. Menthol landed the launcher in the abandoned area of the Paramo near the coastal port, and Alex said with nuances of excitement, "Well, to visit the friend Zephyr, we will travel a 600-meter stretch. Yes, I also feel the gravity, but there may be active surveillance. Now we will wear the tunics with cape to walk slowly past for pilgrim." Ileana, with her blind eye, was about to open her mouth, but immediately gave up. "Okay. You just have to go slowly in line behind me and with your hands together in front, and look serious." Despite the difficulties, the determination in Alex's eyes, and the unstoppable security of Menthol and Sean, gave me the confidence I needed, and Ileana, it's Ileana. We find ourselves entering the Zephyr establishment, a kind of bad death bar equipped with state-of-the-art security systems and several customers from different strata. were a mixture of mercenaries, smugglers, and other characters of dubious reputation. Everyone seemed to be there for business and not just for drinks or anything that could be consumed. The atmosphere was dark and crowded, with a mixture of smoke and changing games of lights that created an almost unreal atmosphere. Ileana, who was serious, suddenly said, "The security systems are impressive. Button cameras, motion sensors, and scanning devices that analyzed every person entering. We have to be extremely careful." Alex and I along with Mental and Ileana headed to a table in a corner, trying not to draw attention. We knew Zephyr would arrive at the perfect time to organize the infiltration operation into Neuroteca's physical sites in the city. Contact with Zephyr was somewhat old-fashioned. Having recognized Alex, he only approached by walking. He had his usual clever look and a smile that inspired confidence, but we knew he would provide us with the resources we needed. Alex took the initiative, speaking loudly and offering a considerable amount of non-traceable credit in exchange for the services to be agreed upon. The man squeezed slowly, his eyes shone with interest. He suddenly interrupted Alex, touching his forehead in a bad simulation of remembering something important. "Ah," he said, "listen, when you settled my council's fees, I just remembered that I have a message for when any of you show up here, for a good price." He finished. Alex answered him more seriously, "We don't have infinite non-traceable credit, and the last time you stayed with my car and my department contract. What else do you want? I don't have any more juice." Sean came up with a proposal that interested Zephyr. "We are authorized to offer a pre-export and import license contract, a legal and clean business. When our operations here are successfully completed. Take it or leave it." The offer involved legal business of global volume. Zephyr shone like a dawn. "Thinking about it," he said. "We have an agreement to sign, although it is already recorded in a closed-circuit analog system with legal value." Between Mental, Ileana, and me, we explained to Zephyr the details of the self-replicating neuro-writing program of the NT. Zephyr, with a glossy look, fell for a second into deep mutism. "Then let's get to work. Here you have, in this memory unit there are greetings from your friends, and what you need, just ask, and I'll get them at the standard price." He left the memory unit in Alex's hands and said he'd come back later. We stayed for breakfast while one by one we reproduced the content of memory with our epithelial implant equipment, remaining respectively with an expression of surprise. It was a message from Mextex, the missing launcher with Mextex. Rafaela, Lady Serafin Darrow and Lysandra Kale had arrived more than a year before us.